Why, good evening, everybody. How are we? Yes. Indeed. Fabulous. There's 5 people here. 4 people here. Y'all have left. You bounced. Carrie's here. Sheepdog, shalom. Mitch is here. Fixed bayonets. Not one more inch. What's going on, man? Scotty John. Greenfield. Bama Blue Eyes. Dalton. James. Chaz. Chaz, get your act together, man. You're up to 7 blocks now. Charles, Nathan, Lee, Edward, the great chaotic one, Tyler. Y'all are crazy. What are we doing? Vulgar display of gunpowder. Fabulous. I remember the first time I saw the cover of Vulgar Display of Power by Pantera. It's just some dude's face with a fist crashing into it. Yep. I was like, I don't know who these guys are, but I gotta be listening to their music. Hey, Tia McAdams, what's going on? Why, thanks, Bruce Magruder. How about this? I look like a rooster now that I should definitely be shooting. Forging knives and relaxing. Like it. Killing moles. Super Dave loves the shirt. Keithing it real. Lucky Luciano. Mark, bless you. Christopher, Broham. What are y'all up to? What do you want to talk about? KR Killa. Phelps, shalom, brother. Donnie, Musha Baker. Did you get the work done today? Yes. The work is not over, but we did get a lot done today. Okie, shalom, brother. Thoughts on the Springfield M1A? I think it's a phenomenal weapon. And people who say that it's not battle proven, it is. It's still in service in certain units. It's not issued, but it's like an elective weapon. You can select it if you'd like it. It's a good rifle. It's expensive. $1,200 to just start playing that game. It's not a great weapon if you want to mount optics on it, but it's a good rifle. Sorry, not sorry, James. So, NWA Prepper, shalom, brother. I like the Springfield M1A, but I don't think it's the first. I wouldn't make it the first gun I buy, right? I wouldn't make it the first gun I buy. But I think it's a very good weapons platform. Revolvers, good or bad? Better than nothing. Your views on the FN FAL. Tommy, shalom, brother. The FAL is a good rifle. It's also 1950s technology. I mean, both of these platforms, you're talking a 7.62 semi-auto with 20-round detachable box magazines, roughly the same length of barrel, roughly the same type of technology. They're just fine. They're both battle-proven rifles. They're both good at what they do. Man, an AR-10 with either a low-power variable optic or a 4-14 or a 5-25, depending on where you live, man, you're doing great. So, Donnie, bless you. How can I donate items for the Grindstone raffle? The first thing you do is you email me, November Tango X-Ray Mike Alpha Golf NTXMAG@gmail.com, and you put in the subject line Grindstone raffle, and then my people will make sure that I see it, and then we talk from there. XM193 or green tip? Why? What can you get? Get that. Green tip LAP has been shown to be marginally better at penetrating light barriers than 55 grain. It also depends on what twist of barrel you have. So it depends. I have nothing against 55 grain. I have lots of 55 grain FMJ. I have lots of 62 grain LAP. I have lots of 55 grain soft point. I have some 69 grain. I have some 50 grain Hornady ballistic tip. I have a little bit of 75 grain. Depends on the rifle, barrel length, the twist on that barrel, and what you're trying to do with it. 1 and 8 is all-purpose twist. Agreed. I prefer 1 and 7 though. But yes, 1 and 8 is all good to go. Bless you, Garrett. Shout out from Hawaii. Shaloha, Wendell. What are we drinking tonight? We are drinking leftover coffee from this morning, topped off with some water from the well. So here we go. Hit me, barkeep. Okay, you got it. Boom. We're topped off, ladies and gentlemen. We're topped off. Cheers. Best 45 pistol, the one that fits your hands. 1911s are cool, Glock 21s are cool, FN 45 5s are cool. Hulkamaniac, awesome. Bless you, thank you. What's up, Jeff Gray? Top fighting knife. I mean, K-bar. It depends on who you are. No preference. I like women, but I'm married. Thanks, though, Jason. Thanks. Just because I'm wearing this shirt doesn't mean I'm interested, okay? I think we should message police agencies to remind them they have support. We're just being suppressed. You know, I recently, in the town that my office is in, yes, that's correct. I do have an office. Yeah, you can get a hug, Mark, but that's it. If you start grabbing, I start sticking holes in you. Okay. In the town where my office is at, I talk regularly with the police officers there and just let them know, hey, thanks for doing your job. We really appreciate you. You're awesome. If there's anything you need, let me know. I'm right here. I got you. And you can tell that I'm not going to say that it makes their day, but that it means something to them. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, JB? Okay, Mark, don't grope. Diesel or gasoline truck? Depends. Chuck Philpott, bless you. Hey, it's Faux Daddy. Shalom, bro. I missed this talk. Mohammed Youssef, shalom, brother. We've got a fantastic sheriff. Awesome. A diesel or gasoline truck? I mean, if you have a... What do you mean by this? Do you mean Bear just won the Powerball and Bear gets to pick? Or do you mean like you need to buy one? Reynaldito, shalom. Because if Bear wins the Powerball, I'm going to go to the nearest Ford dealership. I'm going to get an F550 double cab 4x4 with a body lift and better suspension, bumper winch, 10-foot flatbed body with bed boxes and a headache rack and the wig wags and all kinds of extra stuff on it, with a diesel engine in it and all the tow packages. If I win the lottery, that's what I'm getting. That would be my everyday driver. What is that company called? Highway something. They make all kinds of awesome truck bodies and stuff. Tresha, shalom. Highway Products, I think, is the name of the company. Jeep Gladiator. Yankee must be here. What's up, Yankee Watchdog? Why not buy your own island? Because I like people. I like my people anyway. And islands are statistically pretty hard to defend. So I might buy my own mountain range. Plus, it's hard to drive an F550 to an island. So, what's up, Chris? Yeah, Mitch, me too, man. Me too. I was doing wind power. Hey, it's Jerry. Not oil field, but yeah, same truck. But if you're just like, hey, how do I get a thermal for home defense? If you've checked every other box on the list, then maybe. Crypt Keeper is my old backyard wrestling name, honoring the Undertaker. Awesome. Shalom, Crypt Keeper. People are two people. Hey, it's Aaron Martin. Shalom, brother. What's your thoughts on China versus India? they're not well formed. They're both massive countries. I think China has more of a military, they have more of an appetite for war than India does, but India probably wouldn't take it laying down. War actual. Thoughts on a Maxpedition bug out bag? I don't have an honest answer, man. What does shalom mean? It means peace. It means my peace to you. It's like aloha in Hawaii. It's like, what's up? And goodbye. And hey, it's great to see you. And how are you? So Powerball gets you a land full of ground moving machines. That's right. Hey, it's Dudley. I didn't either, brother, but we're here. Gobra 2, shalom. Hey, it's Chevy Girl. And the lovely Dudley's here too, both of them. Pamela from New Hampshire, shalom. Word, son. What's up, David A? Halfway through the Bible. Awesome. That's awesome. Hello from Montana. Got your ZT sent out today, Dudley. Good job. Good job, Stumps, Roots, and Shoots. Thank you for that. I was slacking on that. That was my bad. But thank you for picking up my slack. That's what you do. That's basically your job description. You're awesome at it. Thank you. What's a good generator you recommend for blackouts? Again, depends. What are you powering? Are you powering an off-grid cabin? Or are you powering a McMansion? It all depends, bro. You need to do a load calculation. Figure out how much power you need. Thanks, Yankee. Hey, it's Vicky Fulkerson. Shalom. Canuck, bless you. It depends. And so it depends is kind of a bad answer. So what does it depend on? Shalom, Badger. It depends on how much power you need. Not necessarily how much power you want, how much power you need. And so you need to do a load calculation. You can just Google or DuckDuckGo or whatever. Remember a couple years ago when everybody was like, don't say Google, they're an evil corporation. And I was like, you're watching me on YouTube that's owned by Google. So yeah, I get it, but simmer down. Google load calculation calculator or electrical load calculator, and there's some pretty good ones online. Slow Chuck, bless you, thank you, that allow you to put in, like, I'm gonna have a refrigerator and I'm gonna have an air conditioner. And by the way, refrigeration, both for your house and for your food, is what eats up the vast majority of the power that you use. Thanks, JB, exactly. The vast amount of power that you use in your house. So things like lights, not so much. Ventilation, not so much. Tactical homesteader, thank you. See, that's the other thing though, 7,500 watt generator, that's peak. Is it, what is it running? What is your favorite beer or tea? I will say, just so before I forget, 5 kW or 5,000 watts or 5 kilowatts is typically what you need to run the average American home. Just make sure, not one more inch, that your load center is balanced, that you have a balanced load. And PJD is here. Shalom, PJD. So my favorite beer, as of right now, is probably the Samuel Smith Chocolate Stout. That is just, oh, it's so good. It's so good. And when I am no longer doing my Nazirite vow, then I'm probably going to go to the liquor store, because that's where it's carried, and get a bunch of it and drink more of it, because it's very good. Bear, what do you credit your success to with your businesses? Austin, that's a really good question. I did a 5-part series on Patreon about growing businesses, so I'll try and paraphrase here. The first is, I did not invent a product and then hope that people wanted it. I met an existing need that was professed and confirmed with a product. Meaning that I didn't invent something then hope people would buy it. I saw what the market wanted. I asked the market what it wanted, and then that's what I did. So that's the first thing. I was not trying to reverse engineer what y'all wanted. I asked you, and you told me, and that's what I'm doing. Daniel Burdett, you were exactly right. You were exactly right. What is the vow? We'll come back to the vow. Shalom, Puzzleman. How many acres do you have? None, ya. Enough. So I did not try and reverse engineer what y'all wanted. I asked you and you told me, and that's what I did. Somebody said hard work. Absolutely. Ducks, bless you and thank you. My day starts typically at 5 a.m., between 5 and 6, somewhere around 5 a.m., and usually ends somewhere around 9 p.m., 6 days a week. A lot of y'all are like, Bear, you look tired. That's not an accident. It's not a coincidence. It's because we work. Our team works really hard, as do I. I'm always doing something. I do not have any debt. None. Yeah, all the acres, all the things, and all the neighbors. Amen. Not a coinky dink. Amen. I have no debt. We bootstrap. When I need to buy something, we buy it with cash, whether it's business or our life. We have the money to buy it. And so I'm not biting my nails, hope I can make payroll. And it's not that I'm risk averse, but I'm not laying my nuts on the chopping block hoping. I don't do that. Hope is not a strategy. So I don't do that. We're constantly listening to y'all. We are, oh, hey, don't worry about my makeup person. For example, we're on iteration 2.5 of the Bear Fact because we're constantly getting feedback from y'all. Make it better, make it better, make it better. The stomp bag. I did a video on the stomp bag that we made for Grindstone, and we got so many emails saying, please, can I buy one, that we made one. And then y'all just kept buying it, which is awesome. Thank you. You're welcome, Unbiased Center. And I'm happy that you know the word vernacular. The trauma pack insert, which Badger asked for. Okay, we made it. Y'all bought it. So, no debt. We're not leveraged. We're not taking unnecessary risk. We show up to work and we do our job every day. And I did not try to reverse engineer what y'all wanted. I asked you, you told me, and this is why we have such a great relationship, Bear Nation. There was one other thing that I wanted to say that I can't remember. I have an awesome team. And so I delegate to them, and then I empower them to do their jobs and get the hell out of the way. Very much of the time, I ask them, what can I do for you? How am I in the way? What do you need me to do so you can do your job? Then I let them do their job. We'll come back to the vow. You suggested that people avoid moving to southeast Oklahoma a while back. Can you elaborate on that? How far southeast is negative and why? River City Racer. I'd say within 50 miles of the Texas border in the southeast corner of Oklahoma. I know from firsthand experience that there are terrible issues with methamphetamine in that area, and people get broken into all the time. Mordo, I did not see his question because the comments go by this fast. So I catch a little bit at a time. So there's a lot of meth in southeastern Oklahoma. I don't like that. People get robbed. People are poor. Daniel Streety, what's up, man? So that's why I don't recommend you move there. And a Cub Fac is actually coming. I appreciate that. That's actually coming. Paris, Texas. I'm familiar with Paris, Texas. And because of the people in Texas constantly trying to buy land in Oklahoma, because it is a lower cost of living, you're paying a lot of money for land that's not really worth owning because you're surrounded by meth heads. So, shalom. Dat meth, right? Southeast Pennsylvania. Been there. The vow. The vow. The vow is the Nazarite vow. It's in Numbers chapter 9, I believe. And essentially, no wine, no strong drink, no going near dead bodies. Setting yourself apart unto the Most High, the Lord your God, Yahuwah your Elohim. And I do this. This is the 4th time that I've done this. This is without question the hardest time that I've done this, and no cutting hair. Thank you. That's exactly right. Chris Scully, bless you. Thank you. Michelle, thank you. Thank you, Michelle. And so, yeah, no cutting the hair, which is why this looks like this, and this looks like this. And no wine or strong drink. And for me, some people say, okay, no wine, no strong drink. Oh, I'm familiar with Prosper, Texas, for sure, Randy. The Prosper Eagles, y'all need to rename your teams the Prosper Golf Carts. Because no, Boswell is not good. Because I have never seen an eagle in Prosper, but I've seen a shit ton of rich people driving around on golf carts. So, what's up, Shepherd? So yeah, the vow resets your brain essentially. And for me, I have an addictive personality. I have blown a bunch of money in my life in previous years on cocaine and bourbon. And so when I find myself coming home from work and my first thought when I get through the door is, I need a glass of whiskey. Not, I wonder where my wife is. I wonder how my kids are. I wonder how my brother's doing. It's, where's my whiskey? That means it's time to take a break from the whiskey. And so every now and then I enter into this vow to take a vow of separation unto the Most High and away from these things that are mental, emotional, spiritual, even physical crutches. So that's the vow. That's what I do. And my vow is up the 23rd of June. And as of right now, I have every intention of going back on the 23rd of June. However, if the Father leads elsewhere, I will follow. So, Bear, what's your opinion on the current events and God's judgment? Joshua, great question. Thanks, Jimmy. My opinion is when 2 witnesses start preaching uninterrupted on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, consuming a-holes with fire from their mouth, we'll know we're in end times. Right, Tracy? Right. Hey, it's Mad Kelt. Bless you. Shalom, brother. And so what we are experiencing right now, absolutely, double tapping hillbilly. Shalom, brother. Shalom, crazy Canuck. What we're experiencing right now is absolutely in line with Matthew 24, right? So what we're experiencing is totally in line with Matthew 24. However, but that does not mean that we're living Matthew 24. We could be living a facsimile of Matthew 24, or this could be the big one. I don't know. When I prayed over this, and I have, Father told me, keep doing what you're doing, not yet. Now, I don't know if that's for me or for all of us, but that's what he told me. Keep doing what you're doing, not yet. My husband is trying to quit drinking. All he drinks is scotch and water, but doesn't mix with high BP. Brandy, here's the thing, and I'm not a medical professional. I do occasionally pretend to be one on YouTube. Actually, that's a lie. I don't do that at all. And bless you, LA stuff. Shaloha. the stress of quitting drinking if you have high blood pressure can actually make you even more wonky with that high blood pressure. So that's something to certainly consult a doctor about. For real, consult a doctor about. What are your thoughts? You mean the non-canonical texts? What are your thoughts on books left out of the Bible? I've read them, and I give certain of those more credence than others. So, Furious Mongoose, shalom, brother. But yeah, I own them, I read them, I study them. Lee Roby, shalom, brother. What do you think about Tennessee to move and do the things? I think it's better than a lot of places, not as good as others, but you do you, man. Go where you can go. And I'd even say this. Yeah, go. The two witnesses was Elijah and Moses. Nobody knows who the two witnesses are, but I believe that they are Elijah and Moses, and we'll come back to that, the two witnesses. But first, let's talk about Tennessee. I would rather you go to Tennessee and be better off than you are now than sit around and try and find something that's ideal. Because idealism, hey, is my wife here? What? Because idealism will get you killed in the long game, I think. Where's my beautiful, talented, lovely wife? Where is she be? I don't see her. Honey, where is you? The two witnesses, Elijah and Moses. I think that's very possible. Hey, babe. I hope you had an awesome day today. I'm going to call you when I get done with this. And you're awesome, and I love you. And I miss you. I really do. I miss you. But I'm doing well. Thank you. So, Hami is awesome. David, everybody's doing great. So the two witnesses, Elijah and Moses. Let's just say, remember this. Remember this. On the Mount of Transfiguration, who is Yeshua? Who is Jesus visited by? Sojourn gear sling. S-E-W-J-O-U-R-N. Sojourn gear sling. Who's Yeshua visited by to comfort him on the Mount of Transfiguration? Elijah and Moses. So you have Moses, the Torah, Elijah, the prophets, and Yeshua, the resurrection, which is exactly what Paul, the Apostle Paul, Shaul of Tarsus, the repentant Pharisee, swears in front of the council in Acts 24, verse 14, that he believes in the Torah, the prophets, and the resurrection. So you have on the Mount of Transfiguration in the New Testament, Elijah, Moses, and Yeshua, Torah, prophets, resurrection. There's two men standing outside the tomb when Yeshua was raised from the dead. I submit that that's Moses and Elijah because we already know that they have the ability to appear, right? They can do these things, and they've already visited Yeshua. He is not here. The tomb is empty. Look for yourselves. Moses and Elijah, Torah, prophets, resurrection. And I believe, I can't prove it, I don't think any of us can, but I believe in Revelation, the two witnesses will be Moses and Elijah trumpeting the coming of Yeshua, the resurrection, Torah, prophets, resurrection. For Matthew 5:17, for truly, truly I say unto you, until heaven and earth pass away, not one jot, not one tittle shall pass from the Torah till all be done. I come not to destroy the Torah, but to complete it. Torah, prophets, resurrection. Xbox Gaming, Condor Mopsy, Modular Operators Plate Carrier, Mike, Oscar, Papa, Charlie, Mopsy. So, there you go. Bare fact clips, how to open. You mean on the back? You just unclip them, man. The little black things, they got a little latch. Just unlatch them. I've read Matthew 11:14. It's here on YouTube in my New Testament playlist. Best backpack armor for little JJ. You know, Tia, Paul Harrell, P-A-U-L-H-A-R-R-E-L-L. Paul Harrell has a video that just came out about backpack armor. And it turns out that some of it is pretty much useless, but some of it's actually pretty good. But there's varying degrees of pretty good. And so I would recommend. No, John the Baptist was not Elijah born again, because they asked him if he was Elijah, and he said, no, I'm not Elijah. He did have Elijah's belt, though. So, ever take a sip of ayahuasca? I have not. What part of New York? Nanya. Clips hold back your hair. They do. I like the ones with the little bows in them. Top 5 states to move to. Eastern Oklahoma, Western Arkansas, Southwestern Missouri, Northeastern Texas. That's 5 right there. Maybe Kansas, maybe not Kansas. Somewhere in that area. The United Confederated Regions of Arklatexa. High Desert, Sojourn Gear, SEWJOURN, gear.com. Are we going to turn? I would not say Indiana because of Indianapolis. It's better than some, not as good as others. Idaho's not a bad one. But you got real winters there. So no, Aaron Martin, not Indiana. Just kidding, bro. Love you, man. Lakes are full. That happens. Thanks, Badger. Center of PA. No, I don't like the center of Pennsylvania. I've done a lot of work for a lot of people who live on the East Coast regarding threat profiles and area studies, and I'll save you a bunch of money. The western side of Pennsylvania is the nearest I would be to either Washington, D.C. or New York City or any points in between. You're welcome. All checks payable to prosperity.com. Appalachian Territory. Spokaneistan, I like that. West of Fort Worth is cool. Yeah, but huge population center. Absolute worst place to be. New York City, LA, Chaz, probably Chaz. Do you think ballistic helmets will also be on the chopping block? Of course. What they're doing is allowing the peasants to purchase body armor that will stop handgun rounds, so that when they roll through the streets firing machine gun rounds, it doesn't matter. Somalia, nice. Guys, I can't even keep up with it. Can't even keep up with the chat. What part of Florida? None. No part of Florida, man. Every time a hurricane hits, just think about that. What are you going to do in a grid down SHTF scenario when a hurricane hits? Yeah, Miami. Miami's a good idea. You should live in Miami for SHTF. It'd be great. You can get all the Cuban cigars and bad cocaine you want. There's, lots of questionable people to hang out with. You've got the Atlantic Beach right there. There's a nice Hilton right on the beach. There's some good restaurants, except that your currency will be useless and the whole thing will be on fire. There's lots of people there that own lots of machine guns that aren't registered because neither are they. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. How do you feel about the Angry American books? That's a great question, Trent. So I've read all of them. I own all of them. And I think Angry American is a great guy. In fact, pre-COVID, we had a little bit of email back and forth, essentially to the extent of, hey man, if I'm ever in your neck of the woods or you're in my neck of the woods, let's drink beer together. And I hope that he knows that that invitation still stands, because I really enjoyed his books. And I think he's a great guy. What I don't necessarily think is good for y'all is do not prep based upon a fictional prepper novel. Here's why. And I've said this in several videos, but we have lots of new people and we have thousands of videos. So if you haven't seen it, I don't blame you. As a fictional author, no, not Louisiana. Let's keep asking that question. Yes, a American. Hey, Viking Preparedness is here. Shalom, brother. As a fictional writer, when Angry American gets his people in a jam, literally, Sarge can show up in the boat with the FN Mini-Me laid across the bow and start opening fire. Yes, Cobra, he is here. He is here. Unless you really have a Sarge in your life and he really has a Mini-Me and it's really laid over the bow of a boat and he's really laying down suppressive fire so you can GTFO, ain't gonna work for you. So there's a lot of decent information in those books, but it's a fiction novel. You could say the same thing. Hey man, what do you think about prepper lessons learned from Terminator 2 Judgment Day? Angelica Kelly, bless you. Thank you. There's a few in there, like maybe you should have a bunker in the middle of the desert underground filled with machine guns. Maybe not. Tony John, shalom, brother. You know, good idea. Maybe being able to shoot 40mm gas grenades at people is cool, or maybe not. You know, there's some lessons in here potentially. Dirt bikes are cool. She's not my mom, Todd, is definitely a lesson you could learn from that. But should you be onboarding that into your daily life so that you can prep accordingly for the threats that are out there? No. I think you would be much better off actually assessing what's going on out there in the world and then reacting or being proactive to that. Thank you, Badger. Rather than prepping based off of novels. So that being said, I own all of those books. I think that he did a really good job writing those books, and I do think there is some valuable stuff in there. But however, Freight Car Mark, shalom. I lost my underground bunker in a boating accident. That's awesome. What do you think about rural Minnesota? Yes, question mark. Real winter, and oh, by the way, Minneapolis. So, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know enough about it. I think you should do an area study. Don't you know? Oofta. Absolutely, Lori, they are. You know, and the first, the beginning of the first book by Angry American is kind of like a gear list. And when I first read the first book, I was like, oh, this is going to be one of those novels. But he does better after that. Sent you an email at Independent. I am a prepper author, Ron Foster. Awesome. Cool. I'll be sure to tell my people to look out for it. No, guys. How do I say this nicely? Maybe I can't say it nicely. Will there be pockets of sanity amidst the chaos everywhere? Yes. But the likelihood that you will be in one of those pockets greatly diminishes based upon your population density. So if you're on the West Coast or the East Coast, or hell, I mean, if you're in a blue state, probably less likely your population density is going to be a mess. The higher your population density, the more likely there are to be bad people in your midst. And you're going to have to deal with Viking Preparedness, who is here, has said repeatedly, and I believe he's correct. You have two main threats in SHTF: starvation and people behaving badly. And so if there's more people around you, that means there's more people fighting for those limited resources. And if there's more people around you, that means there's more people to behave badly because of those limited resources. And so Northern California, beautiful area. Is it like Southern California? No. Would I want to live there? No. Thank you, Hami. How about all 50 states exactly? Yes, I already talked about ballistic helmets on the chopping block. As I said, HR 4568 seeks to ban body armor that can stop ban body armor that can stop intermediate and rifle caliber cartridges, meaning that you would still be able to buy armor that can stop handgun cartridges. So my question for you is, do you think if war breaks out in your city streets that you're going to be shot with a handgun or with a long gun? And if the answer is a long gun, the armor that you are then allowed to buy, including that ballistic helmet that has been outlawed, ain't gonna help you. So I think it's very possible that you see ballistic helmets be put on the chopping block as well. What about Mexico? No. Chevy girl, exactly. You can make armor that can stop rifle rounds for $55 in the press. I don't really want to outsource that. I'm good. Level 3 plus. Solomon Shalom. Best ballistic helmet? The one you can afford, man. It's all these questions, and I understand that part of what you're trying to do is learn from my experience, and thank you for that. But there's these things called preferences. I have a big head. I'm a big dude, and so the plate carrier that I like, you're not gonna like if you're not a big dude. So the rifle that I like, you're not gonna like if you don't like, I don't like dot sights. I like low power variable optics. Okay. Preferences. So I would prefer that you would get what you like rather than worry about what Bear likes. What pistol should I buy? I get this question constantly. The one that fits your hand and that you will carry. Because if you get some big badass shiny gun that'll punch holes through 1/2-inch plate steel, but you leave it at home on the dresser, doesn't matter, does it? Good job, Tony John. Ceramic or AR 500? Multi-hit ceramics if you're concerned about weight. Steel if you're concerned about the ability to take more than 4 or 5 rounds. Steel's definitely more budget friendly, but it weighs more. I have both. I have ceramic plates and I have steel plates. And frankly, if I'm wearing armor, I'm wearing armor. I just don't. It's like, oh, this thing's heavy and uncomfortable. Yeah, who'd have thought? So, Sean, bless you. What would you say is your favorite meal? That's a good question. I will answer that with this hypothetical situation. I'm on death row for some reason because YouTube decided that what I say is hate speech and the thought Nazis came and locked me up and put me on death row. And it's my last meal. And yes, Bear Hawaiian shirts, we'll get on that. It's my last meal. Here's what I order. I order an entire large Pizza Hut deep dish pizza with light sauce, double cheese, Parmesan around the crust. A 32 ounce bone-in cowboy steak, ribeye. Salt, pepper, a little bit of onion powder. Good salt, good pepper, a little bit of onion powder. Medium rare, with grilled asparagus with garlic, but not soggy asparagus. Still gotta have the crunch. A vanilla milkshake, a bunch of water, and probably 6 of those Samuel Smith chocolate stouts. And, or you could probably add some like New York Neapolitan white slice pizza in there as well. So, how's that? Thanks, Brad. Yeah, why eat healthy if you're about to die? Exactly. How come you don't use side plates? Cause. How come you do? Again, preferences. Dottie, yes, North Arkansas question mark. Probably much better than where you live right now. That's my guess. So let's go with yes. Thoughts on pistol training frequency? I like once per week. In fact, we have a pretty consistent weekly pistol course of fire that's 50 rounds. And every round is accounted for. It's not just go out there and blast 50 rounds. It's 50 rounds, and that keeps it affordable, accessible to all the brethren. And it limits the amount of time at the range because some people have all day to burn at the range. Some people have other things that they need to do. So once weekly is probably a pretty good benchmark. And I'll tell you this from experience, you can see marked improvement in your pistol handling capability just by practicing once per week. The range is awesome. You can see progress on Yankee's channel, Yankee Survival, on his Patreon channel. It's functional. It needs, you see ammo coming back anytime soon? Yes, I just covered this morning on the brief. Yes, manufacturing is starting to pick back up again. So many of you. The range. It needs some lipstick. It needs some lipstick for sure. But it's definitely functional. Nope, don't reload. Shalom, Aaron. Don't reload. Got friends that do. Don't have the time. I know that you can save lots of money reloading after you spend lots of money to buy all the things to save lots of money and then sit in front of the reloader. And some people can do that. Me, I can't do that. I don't have the time, and the time that I do have, I don't have the interest burning in front of a reloading press. So. I don't know how many times people are going to ask about New Hampshire. If your state's motto is live free and die, act like it. I guess if you're in the Northeast, that's the best place to be. Do I love it? No, because you're surrounded by the Atlantic Ocean, Canada, and liberal a-holes. Trey, you're welcome. Sean, I see you. And I see everybody else asking about Chaz. And I am happy to let y'all know that I talk about Chaz every morning on the Bear Daily Brief. TRW, I'm not frustrated. It's just like, I don't like being yelled at. I don't like seeing the same questions from the same people over and over and over again, and then in caps. Yeah. It reminds me of my kids running up to my dinner table and interrupting me while I'm talking, sitting there having an adult conversation, going, Dad, 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 Dad. I love them. They're awesome, but that's not polite. So, plain cheesecake. New York style cheesecake, yes. New York style cheesecake, for real. Otherwise, can you even argue with a turtle cheesecake? So, thanks, Jim. Shalom, Sister Cassie. I agree. The old knife hand to the neck. Do you deer hunt? Yes, I deer hunt. I surely do. How many rounds of 5.56 do you have compared to how many you want? I have enough to be comfortable if I never bought another box, and I don't have nearly as many as I'd like to have. How's that for an answer? Just tuned in. Anything new in the armor ban? Oh, Yinzer, thank you for the $5 bill, but we've literally just talked about it twice in a row. To surmise, or I'm sorry, summarize, I think it's possible. Knife hands not only stop bullets, they cut them in half in midair. I think it's possible that, yes, HR 4568 goes through. Crazier things have happened. And I do think included in that will be Kevlar helmets. And so I think if you don't have one, you should have one. And if you don't have body armor and you have some money burning a hole in your pocket, you should get some body armor. And if you're gonna buy body armor, you should get some Spartan armor, steel or ceramic, from adventurefrontier.com, and use promo code BearNation at adventurefrontier.com to get 10 bucks off your armor. That's what I think. Just did that. Awesome. Yes, Johnny, I do. I do. What did I call it? Something like SHTF commo. If you just put in like Bear Independent commo, you'll find it. You'll definitely find it. It's out there. Thank you. Belizean Fen here. What's going on with SIG's Germany location? It got shut down. Yeah, it's legit. When SHTF, Bear, will you shoot people that stumble upon your tribe or welcome them? I have let me be honest, 6 videos on this on Patreon. And the answer is, it depends. And I'm not gonna give you the what it depends on here for all the reasons. So, best ham radio. Oh man, I don't know. I think the Amendment 1 Preparedness canned ham radios are awesome. Amendment, the number 1 preparedness.com. And they're awesome. I have one in my truck right now. They're awesome. There's so much stuff. Do you want to run 440, 220, 2 meters, 6 meter, DMR or analog, or there's so much stuff, you know, best for what? Baofangs are pretty good. Are they the best? Absolutely not, but they're probably the most attainable for the most number of people. What's your go-to rifle? If SHTF happened, what are you grabbing? Hold that thought. You'll talk quietly amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. Okay. When the world ends, this will be the rifle that I'm holding. And I'll give you the stem to stern real quick. Magpul, sling with the Magpul platey thing. Enhanced charging handle. Magpul angle grip. Olight weapons light. Gosh. Barrage, something barrage. Muzzle device. BUIS. Vortex 2 to 7. That's it. Basic, what I call a recce rifle. Low power variable optic. And good, slightly heavier than M4 profile barrel that will shoot 1 MOA with the appropriate, in fact, it's guaranteed to shoot 1 MOA. And 2 to 7 vortex on there. Can you see QB with that? Yes, you should see me do up drills with this. Ask the last thing that I shot in the face how good my up drill is with this. It's pretty good. So, you know, that's it. It's got not a mil-spec trigger, but not a super high speed. It's a, I don't even think it's standard. It's the upgraded trigger from Runner Guns in McKinney, Texas, which is where this lower came from, and it's good. So, but not, it's not the best trigger ever. So, this is what I would grab. And I can tell you, when, here lately, when I need to grab a rifle, this is what I grab. And I have, stumps, roots, and shoots, amen. No, that's rattle can, bro. It's just rattle can. And it'll probably be rattle canned again. I have this 20 rounder that I typically keep in it, and it's got these 50 grain ballistic tips in it that this gun shoots exceedingly well. I've shot 0.3 MOA groups with this rifle at 100 with that ammo. And it gets the job done. And then I have all the 30 rounders for it as well. I believe that there are 17 30 rounders with me. So how's that for an answer? So, do I hunt with a shotgun or is that defense only? Depends on what we're hunting. It's awful hard to shoot a duck with a rifle. Can it be done? Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that's illegal. So, rabbits I don't eat anymore. Same things with squirrels, but I do a lot of population control on those. So, typically small game, I shoot with a 22. Yeah, Jimmy, that upper was a Spec Ops manufacturing upper, and that barrel is guaranteed 1 MOA. And that Hornady ammo, that Hornady AMAX, I think it is, it was sold under brand name Viper. My buddy and brother James turned me on to it. And gosh, is it a good round. Just very consistent. It was like $30-ish for a 50 round box of it. And it's devastating. Dropped a whitetail with it where it stood. Had a feral pit bull on property that was being aggressive, given the opportunity to leave 3 times, all the devastating. And when it didn't and it got aggressive and acted like it was going to launch towards me, up drill, boom, dropped him right there, man. LOL, just to be difficult, a Daisy 880 better for survival compared to AR. We're going to battle or feeding family for a year at less than $100. If you have $100 to spend, go to the pawn shop and buy a 22 rifle, a used 22 rifle, not a Daisy. Absolutely. You can see the BBs flying out of the Daisy. No good. So, yeah. Tips on practicing with Baofeng. I don't have tips for practicing with the Baofeng. I have 3, 4 awesome camo guys. That's what I have. Smart prepper, bless you. Thank you. I'm not the quintessential camo guy. I'm not, and I've been very open and honest about that. What skill would you like to learn next? That's a really good question. I'd like to build a smokehouse. I was just talking about this earlier today, and learn how to use it. I wouldn't say that my butchering is the best, but it's certainly serviceable. So I'd probably like to sharpen that up a little bit, get back, like cutting steaks out of animals. I'd say I'm probably a 7 out of 10 on butchering. I'd like to be a 9 or a 10 out of 10 at butchering. I'd like to get better at vacationing. I'd really like to get better at vacationing. Listen, Erics, I have all the best nunchuck skills. You wouldn't even believe how good my nunchuck skills are. You need one of those super high-speed cameras just to capture how quickly those nunchuckas are moving. So, what's your take on the Beretta PX4 Storm? I think it's ugly as hell and expensive. Bathing in DEET. Yes. Yes. And the eyeballs for all the extra. NWA prepper. Bless you, brother. Thank you. Do you have bow staff skills? Are you kidding me? I cut and hand carved my first bow staff when I was a zygote. My mom was not happy when she birthed me. Kung Fu-fta. Nice. Oh, do. What is your liquor of choice and brand? Great question. Here lately, I have discovered, I can't remember who makes it, some brand of peanut butter whiskey that is just delicious. And it has a sheep on the front of it, a sheep's head on the front of it. But typically, I like bourbons, I like whiskeys, I like scotch. My go-to lately has been like Dewar's White Label. It's a good, just everyday man's drink at the end of the day. And if not that, Maker's Mark is very good. I like Maker's. And Screwball, thank you, that's correct. I used to drink Jim Beam like it was my job. So yeah, Jeepin', yeah. I mean, I used to get a handle of Jim Beam, and if that lasted me 2 days, I was really keeping it under control. So Knob Creek is good. Larceny's good too. I also like, yeah, a handle, not kidding. Are you out of Templeton Ride? No, I still have some, brother. Thank you. Oh, I lost what I was gonna say. Oh, right, the Texas Ranger, that's good. It's a good whiskey for what it is. You know, it's a $20 bottle, it's good whiskey. It drinks like a $35 bottle and it's a $20 bottle, so. Jameson, Honey Jack. Lead Slingers. I know somebody who's just like all over the Lead Slingers, you know. Kids these days. Wild Turkey. I haven't had Wild Turkey in a long time. We used to get these really cheap handles of scotch. Oh man, what were they called? Oh, they were terrible. We drank them. Most alcohol consumed in one night. Great question. I once bet somebody $100 that I could not drink 50 keg beers. And to keep track, the guy in charge of the keg, who did not like me, got a Sharpie and started marking hash marks on my arm. And I remember winning at 52 and waking up the next morning hating life. Now, of course, this was over the course of like 12 hours, but still, that was a lot of keg beer. Do you think that we will make it? Not all of us, no. But if I don't make it and my kids do, praise Yah. If I don't make it and my wife does, praise the Most High. If I don't make it but all the people that I love make it, I'm winning. No, I don't think we're all gonna make it. Every one of us is gonna die at exactly the moment the Father deems necessary to call us home. And I'm unafraid of death. I know where I'm going. I know who I serve. And it is my goal in life to hear the phrase, "Well done, good and faithful servant," when I go home. I'm less concerned about me making it than I am concerned with all the people that I love making it. And I am 100% certain that out of everybody within the sound of my voice, we're not all gonna make it. I'm not doing this for me. If I was doing this for me, I would have my F550 4x4 4-door with the body lift and the bumper winch and the 10-foot bed on it and the bed boxes and the headache rack and the wig wags and the blah, 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 blah. I would have that. Instead, I have a $3,500 third-hand beat-up F-150, and praise the Most High that I have it, because it gets me from where I am to where I need to be and back again. No, we're not all going to make it. We're not all supposed to make it. A remnant is small, y'all. A remnant is small. The better question is, what can you do to pour into those who will make it? Jeep and survival. Years ago, my 16-year-old nephew told me he could outdrink me with whiskey. His dad was there. Don't blame me. Before the sun went down, he puked on his shoes. His shoes. I was like, well, I guess I win. Bless you, brother. We all gonna die Wednesday. That's tomorrow. Got some kids to save. Amen. Tactical puking. Whiskey Alpha Romeo. Are you anti-weed? No. I'm not anti-weed. I can't smoke weed. I'm the world's worst high person. 2 hits of weed, even like grandma weed, and I would have 46 layers of tinfoil on my head right now. I would be behind this chair right now with my rifle waiting for the reptilian overlords to come out of the center of the flat earth so that they could start their world domination and harvest my kidneys for adrenochrome. I am the worst high person on the planet. However, I am not the only person on the planet, far from it. And I think that for some people, in some instances, it is legitimately medicine. I also think that for some people, in some instances, it is legitimately escapism, and it is detrimental to them. It's a problem, not a solution. And so we're encouraged in the Bible, commanded in the Bible to be sober-minded, not to be rolling around in altered mind states, which is why in the Bible, there's not a prohibition against drinking, there's a prohibition against drunkenness. In fact, I was talking about this earlier today too. A little bit of alcohol every day can contribute, it's not the only factor, but it can contribute to longevity and extended life. So marijuana, if you need it and if you use it as medicine, can be a good thing. If you don't, and if you use it as escapism, can be a terrible thing. It costs people their lives, whether they're dead or just acting dead. And so I'm not anti-weed. I'm anti-sloth. I am anti-people who don't take personal responsibility, whether it's opioids or methamphetamines or alcohol or marijuana or video games or romance novels or prepper fiction or YouTube videos or whatever the salve is that you rub on that wound rather than letting it heal. I'm anti that. So how's that for an answer? I smoke meat. I like that. All the comments, man. I think I just quit smoking. Praise Yah. I mean, I have a pipe that I smoke occasionally. I haven't in the last couple of days. I won't for the next few days. I don't need it. And Danny Jackson, shalom. I don't need it. That's part of why I take the Nazarite vow when I do, is because I don't want to need alcohol. And I'm set apart unto Yahweh, the Lord our God, set apart unto Him. I should need Him, not the square bottle. I should need Him, not my next hit of weed or my next line of coke or my next hit of heroin. I should need Him. So it's all good, Puzzleman. You play any other instruments instead of drums? Play guitar as well. Justin, bless you. Comments just go so fast. What is your most favorite song to play on guitar? It's mine, and it doesn't have a name. Biggest regret. One of my best friends, unbeknownst to me, I knew that he was doing a lot of coke, and I knew that he was doing a lot of drinking. And I talked to him. He was in the Northeast, and I was in Florida on a job. And I loved this guy like a brother. He was one of my best friends. Grew up with him. And we had both committed to stop. We were a bad influence on each other, and so it was good that I was in Florida and he was in the Northeast. And I talked to him on the phone, and I said, hey man, how you doing? He's like, man, I'm sick. I'm like, oh, that sucks, dude. You know, you should rest, drink fluids. Yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm really sick. And what I didn't know was that he had started using heroin on top of everything else. And what I didn't know was that he didn't know how to tell me other than to tell me that he was sick. And he exploded his heart and died. And it tore me up. Still tears me up. And so if I could go back in time and do things different, I wouldn't be in Florida. I would have been in the Northeast with him, so that he'd still be here. But there's two things. One is, for whatever reason that I will never explain, I'll never understand, that was the Father's will. That's what had to be done. That's what happened. The other is I will always try to listen more actively when I talk to somebody, that if there's a cry for help in there, I'll hear it. And I won't just let it slide. Because this guy was telling me for a couple of weeks that he was sick. And I didn't listen. I didn't understand. And now I understand. And so, if I can learn from his death and maybe be able to prevent another one, I win. It sucks, but I win. If I can learn from this, there's a silver lining. So, it's my biggest regret. I miss him. His name was Jason. He was a hell of a guy. He was a hell of a guy. Yeah, it was. Danielle Massey. You know, I know a Danielle Massey in real life. I wonder if it's you. It was a turning point in my life. I quit doing coke, and I quit drinking handles of Jim Beam. I was disgusted with myself. I was disgusted with myself for taking a 400 trillion to 1 chance at being alive and being a human being and squandering it on inebriation. And really what I was doing was numbing pain. That's what I was doing. Rather than dealing with problems head on and unpacking the wound so it would heal, I just kept covering it up with substances. And so yeah, it was the beginning of many changes in my life. So it's this strange dynamic where the enemy runs the world right now, but the Father is sovereign over all things. And I don't understand it. And it's not my job to understand it, because if I did understand it, how could I serve and dedicate my life to a creator that I can comprehend? Nope. Then the Father brought you to us. Amen. Amen. Laura J, bless you. Thank you. What's his name? Laura? Bama, I'm not a great person. I'm not a great person. To the extent that you see greatness in me, it's because the Father has seen fit to allow a little bit of my Messiah to shine through. I'm just a person. I'm a person who's blessed. And I try and make sure that I remember that I'm blessed. We are blessed. We are not on fire. We are not rioting. We are not starving to death. We are blessed. Y'all, I'm losing the light. I'm gonna have to bounce. Lord J, I lift up your son to the Most High. And if it's his will, I pray that he's healed. And I pray that he brings you the comfort that passes all understanding, the Ruach HaKodesh, the Comforter. And I know the pain you're going through. And I would just ask the Father to fill you up with strength, because you're gonna need it, sister. I'll see y'all in the morning, for we all gonna die Wednesday. And we are all gonna die. So what can you do to make sure that your death is not everlasting, and that you've left your mark on this world for good and for light and for love? Holy, 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 bless you. Bear Nation, y'all are awesome. Thank you for sticking with us through thick and thin. See y'all in the morning. Shalom.